This is a Doepfer Dark Energy. It is a monophonic analog semi-modular synthesizer. It is one of my favourite synths that I have ever owned. For me, this was the gateway drug into synthesis and eventually modular. It can sound a little basic, but at the flick of a switch it can get pretty crazy sounding. One of the reasons that I got into synthesizers, specifically going into the modular route, is being able to patch in external instruments and all kinds of various audio sources, and then being able to treat it using the different functions on the synth. And that's what we're going to do in this video, with the audio being modulated as that of my Stratocaster. So in Ableton I created this music to use as an example. If I'm using a guitar, I like to pre-record what I'm going to send through the synth, as that gives me the ability to make adjustments as the audio is being played. Also, in the case of the Dark Energy, there can be issues with going direct in with the guitar, especially if it has low impedance single coil pickups, as the signal will be too weak for it to be amplified in the Dark Energy. So what you have to do is to route the audio out of Ableton and into the Dark Energy, then back out into Ableton, and that will be recorded. First we have to connect a cable from the output from your audio interface and plug the other end into the external audio input on the synth. Then take the main output from the synth and plug that back into the input on your audio interface. I have these 1/4 to 1/8 inch cables that make this easier. These are made by Doepfer and one came included with the Dark Energy. Next in Ableton, we have to route the audio out of the correct output, go to the channel that has the audio that you want to send out, and you can change where the destination will be. I have changed this from the master bus to output 3. Next you want to create a new track, which in Ableton you can just right click next to the others and create a new one. Once this has been done, you can arm the track for recording. Set the input monitoring to in so you'll be able to hear the affected sounds coming back from the synth. Then hit record, and the audio will be sent out and into the Doepfer Dark Energy, then back into the DAW and will be recorded into the new track. And that's it. I find doing things like this to be pretty fun. And there are several different things you can do here. In this first example, you can find a setting on the filter and just leave it alone. You don't have to do anything, and that can sound something like this. But of course, it's always more fun to get more hands-on and turn the controls while the music is playing, which can get more interesting and varied results, including the fact that you can change the settings in time with what's going on. In this next example, we are going to create a very simple patch. This is a semi-modular synth after all, so what we're going to do is to take the output of LFO1 and patch that into the control voltage input for the filter. An LFO is an oscillator which mostly operates below the levels of human hearing and is usually used as a way to manipulate and modify other parts of a synth to give it more details and texture to the sound. You can think of using an LFO as a way to turn controls, such as in this case the filter, automatically. Personally, I find it best to try and match the rate of the LFO with the tempo of the track you're manipulating, but you can get all kinds of interesting results if you mess around with the controls. In the previous examples, they have all been about using the filter to modulate the sound. In the next couple of examples, we are going to mess around with the VCA, which combined with using the LFO will give us a tremolo effect. First, here's the guitar part that we are going to process. And here's what the Dark Energy sounds like being used for tremolo. Which I realise isn't really that much different from a standard tremolo pedal, but in the case with synthesizer LFOs over a pedal is that you have greater scope for options, while most LFOs and synthesizers have the option of being set high enough so it can be heard, and in this next example is just of that. Not something your standard tremolo pedal can do. But anyway, this video is just a basic overview of some of the things that can be done with a basic synthesizer. You don't necessarily need a 20 grand modular synth to be able to do stuff like this. That just increases your options. But that's just about it for this video. To end with, I tried to record a performance of sorts to give another idea of what all this sounds like. Please like and subscribe if you liked this video, and thanks for watching.